Hello everyone. So KEF LS50s and Bowers and Wilkins 707S2 mini monitor speakers. As of right now, LS50 retail are $1,300. 707S2 retail for $1,200. So they are in the direct competing price category. KEF LS50 is one of the very popular and highly regarded speakers among the audiophiles, and Bowers and Wilkins are highly regarded speakers. I want to compare these two because I'm thinking of switching the speakers, and I found this used locally, so I bought this speaker. This is not a review sample, and this is not brand new unit. This is bought used. So it's a piano black finish and very good quality. So another reason I bought this speaker is based on my experience with the 607 speaker that's sent in by Brandon for review. Based on that experience and sound quality, so I decided to get this one because reputation of these companies, even buying used, most likely I will not lose any money even if I don't like it, if I have to resell it. So build quality, hands down, either speakers, I have nothing to complain. Very solid build with their very high quality drivers. So let's get to sound quality. So sound quality is always comes down to personal taste. What I'm trying to get right here is I'm a big fan of mini monitor speakers because the way that they produce the sound, the way that they provide that stereo image, 3D like sound signature that I really enjoy. That's why I always prefer this kind of mini monitor speakers over big floor standing towers. I went through many albums of my favorite musics. Let's start with this 707S2. They don't sound great with the average AV receiver. It sounded mute and muffled. Then I moved them into my music den. I start listening my music. So when I was listening Diana Krall, Girl in the Other Room SACD album, music, it's so real. Her voice is probably one of the best I have ever heard reproducing her voice in my music listening. One of the best that I have ever heard in this price range or even more higher expensive speakers. So, and then piano notes, light touches on, just drums, touches, brushing through the surface of the snare drum, and those areas are so realistic and so musical. That's the this little tweeter is very impressive. This tweeter, this is a carbon dome tweeter. Apparently, they have aluminum dome tweeter treated with the carbon or something, so you can read on their website. But this tweeter, I think, is one of the best. Probably the best tweeter you can buy for money. It's better than the KEF LS50 tweeter. But the way that it presents the sound, the way that spread the sound is spacious and lush and smoothness to it. But there's a few downsides. If I play for long enough, I get a bit tired with this tweeter. KEF LS50 also give me time based on the different music and give me that kind of feeling time to time. But jazz music or blues or a lot of music that I listen, I don't have the problem with LS50s. This one, just a tip bright for my liking, this S707S2. The soundstage is wider than the LS50s. It may not be as deep as a LS50 soundstage, but it is wider, better instrument separation. Instrument notes are more real on this speaker than the LS50 speakers can produce. So, for example, when I was listening to that Ride Across the River by Dire Straits, The way the mug touches the notes, the way the mug touches the string, the way that he pushing it up, and those sounds are so real. It's so realistic with this little speaker. It's so real that I thought, man, this is the speaker that I'm gonna keep. That's what came to my mind. And then there is like in that sound, there is like a drumstick touching the surface of snare drum very softly and light touches. Those kind of small notes are very apparent and very musical and very enjoyable. It's not analytical sounding. Its presentation and the way that reproducing the sound is so good with the great separations. Very cohesive. Every notes appear properly through the musical range without overdoing many things. So vocals are really good as well. So drum notes are one of the instruments that I pay a lot of attention to. Drum notes are one of the hardest notes to reproduce by this kind of small speakers. So that's why I always pay a lot of attention how I'm hearing drum notes on these kind of small speakers. So I know these kind of speakers are very expensive for non-audiophile people because they think any speakers more than $300-400 is outrageous. So that's the different discussion. To me, any of these speakers well worth the money. Some may say all these mini monitors are overpriced. The thing that they don't notice is a lot of effort go into small mini monitor speakers because physical limitation, driver size limitation, a lot of R&D to get the things right on these kind of mini monitor speakers. When everything right, there's stereo image, 3D like soundstage. This driver is really good. Probably the best driver money can buy. So I really appreciate that kind of sound reproduction. So quality and realistic sound that this kind of little monitor will produce. For when I listen in that Ride Across the River track, the cricket noise is so apparent. It's so real. It's like I'm hearing outside just like that. So more so than any other speakers that I had in my system. It's more realistic than KEF LS50 speakers with this little tweeter. It's so impressive. Realism in reproducing the sound is better than the KEF LS50 in my system. So but a high frequency can get brighter than I would love to hear with some music. Overall sound is more spacious, more space between the instruments, and bass performance is amazingly good for this tiny little box. Definition, punchiness, tightness, detail, and kick. I can really feel the bass performance of little speaker with my chest, not with my ears. That's how good they are. KEF LS50 lower region is lesser definition compared to this and a bit warmer sounding signature. This one is a little bit more on a natural sounding side. KEF LS50 is a bit on a warmer side from bass to upper mid-range area. From bass notes to upper mid-range to high frequency, this one have a great transparency and detailed sounding than a KEF LS50 speakers. Do I think this one is better speaker than KEF LS50 speakers? It depends on your taste, depends on your system. And synergy is all that comes. And I am seriously thinking keeping this one and selling LS50 speakers, but not so quick. I may have a different idea. so altogether. I may get rid of all 4 together, but I will let you guys know. Realistic reproduction of the sound. Everything's come down to this little mini monitor speakers. It's so impressive in my system. I still like my LS50s, but this one is really giving LS50 run, because in some way this one is better speaker than the LS50 speaker. If you like one mesh sound with a great detailed sound signature, LS50 is better. This one is a bit more on natural, neutral side, but it's not cold or analytical sounding at all. Very realistic sounding speaker that I can enjoy my music. So for time being, I like the 707 S2 more than my KEF LS50 speakers. Wait, there is a one downside. Like I mentioned it before, this can get bright with certain recording. So that's the only problem, that's the only thing that holding me back. Because this one can get a bit bright than I would like to hear. That's why I'm debating which one to keep. So I will let you guys know which one I'm keeping and which one I'm going to let go, because I have too many speakers. I buy these with my own money, and I share my experience with I share my experience on my YouTube channel. I am not trying to sell any products to anyone. I'm just sharing my opinion and my honest review of my experience. Highly recommended speakers. Overall sound is great. One of the best that I have ever heard in this price range. These kind of brands retain a high resale value compared to ID companies. These are the 2 of the best mini monitor speakers that you can buy in this price range. At this moment, I'm leaning towards this 707 S2, although I still love my LS50s. So I just need to make some decision in few months. I'm gonna let you guys know which one I kept and which one I let go, or I may even let go both of them to get better different kind of speakers. So this is my review of these 2 speakers. You can go around with either speakers. Please keep in mind, all these mini monitors require beefy power supply in your amplifier. They will not sound the best with the average AV receivers. So they're both great speakers, highly recommended. Thank you for watching. Happy listening.